Ever wonder why Leonard from The Big Bang Theory puts up with Sheldon, Howard, and Roger's non-stop shenanigans? Keep watching to see the theory behind these zany characters' theatrics. Leonard Hofstadter and Sheldon Cooper on The Big Bang Theory were roommates for most of the 12 years the hit series was on the air. The two first met when Leonard answered Sheldon's ad for a roommate, which Leonard soon learned would also mean driving him to and from work. Having to drive Sheldon proves the least of Leonard's worries, however.
How does he keep coming up with new ways to be annoying?
Nobody knows. That's why he's number one.
He soon finds out that Sheldon is highly neurotic, stubborn, and difficult. In fact, Leonard is required to sign a roommate agreement before Sheldon even considers him. If that's not a huge red flag, then we honestly don't know what qualifies. Throughout the series, Sheldon cites the agreement, and it's often ridiculous clauses when he thinks Leonard is stepping out of line.
There's a big inspection coming up, and I don't want to lose my TV privileges.
You really need to let me take a look at that roommate agreement one of these days.
Because living with Sheldon is such a chore, Leonard has compared his friend to a first pet that could ruin your life. Many have wondered why Leonard puts up with him. Some have suggested that perhaps Leonard seeks validation from emotionally withholding people, having grown up with a mother who is essentially a female version of Sheldon. Maybe that upbringing fuels a desire to take care of someone, so he can feel he is doing something right. The psychological take does make sense, but there's one Reddit user among the active fan community with a different take. Leonard is actually being paid by the university to look after its genius employee. A user posed the theory to Reddit. The idea came to them during an episode where Raj is Skyping with his family back home in India. It is mentioned that the Caltech employees have limited earning potential, implying that they receive less than desirable incomes. If their earning potential really is limited, then how do Leonard and Sheldon pay for rent, comics, laptops, and other nerdy goods? The user explains, "My theory is that the university is paying Leonard extra to keep an eye on Sheldon, Howard, and Raj." The user came to this conclusion given the personalities and actions of the other three in the show. In addition to Howard's reckless behavior and Raj's fear of police and being sent back to India, Sheldon seems to be unable to grasp simple concepts and thus cannot see that his choices and actions are wrong.
Something's wrong with me.
I told you if we were patient, he'd figure it out for himself.
If this theory holds any truth, it begs the question, how are they still employed? Well, the user answers that too. Sheldon, Raj, and Howard are geniuses, probably some of the best the university has seen. Perhaps the head of the school is desperate to hold on to them and knows the only way to do that is to keep them out of trouble. Enter Leonard, who is arguably the most practical of his foursome. The user proposes Leonard was hired to carry out research and watch over and protect these simple-minded men. Another question we have to ask is why Leonard would agree to such a task. After all, it's clear in the context of the series that living with Sheldon is far from easy. When one considers the theory, however, it does make some sense.
Brown rice, not white?
Yes.
You stop at the Korean grocery and get the good hot mustard?
Yes.
Did you pick up the low-sodium soy sauce from the market?
Yes.
Good. And see how it's done, Leonard?
If Leonard has limited earning potential, then he has to be prudent when it comes to his money. And that leaves little room for the nerdy lifestyle we often see the characters indulging in. It would be near impossible to afford such a nice apartment in Pasadena, go to Stewart's comic store nearly every other day, attend conventions, and buy any pop culture merchandise. When this strange assignment came up, Leonard was probably hesitant, but when he realized he didn't have to worry about choosing between keeping a roof over his head or being a geek, it was a simple decision. Of course, it must be extremely stressful having to deal with his friends and their shenanigans, but as Leonard slips under the covers with an issue of a rare comic he probably couldn't otherwise afford, it's surely worth it. However, this plausible explanation is not without its detractors. As some people argued on Reddit, Raj comes from a well-to-do family, possibly skewing the meaning of limited earning potential. Meanwhile, Sheldon appears to save a substantial amount of money, possibly suggesting the pay is just fine. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.